Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be continuing on the theme from a few nights ago when I shared some readings from The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, because in this second chapter he dives into consciousness as the way out of pain. And although I've known about this book and I read this book many years ago now, reading it again has really brought me back to my mission and my role here as an MD online to try and help people with their pain. And I think Eckhart's life and writings is bang on the nail regarding understanding it and offering solutions and how to get out of it. So I'm just going to read a question that was in the book. It says, what happens to the pain body when we become conscious enough to break our identification with it? So as a reminder, the pain body is pain in the body. Emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain. And it relates to this conscious nature of how to break out. So here's a summary of kind of what he said. Unconsciousness creates pain in the body. And consciousness, the opposite, transmutes it into itself. St. Paul, the apostle, expressed in his universal principle beautifully, everything is shown up by being exposed to the light. And whatever is exposed to light itself becomes light. Just as you cannot fight the darkness, you cannot fight the pain or the pain body. Trying to would create more conflict, inner conflict, and thus more pain. And watching it, and this is the key, watching your pain, awareness of your pain is enough. Watching it implies accepting it as it's part of what is in that moment. Now, the pain body consists of trapped life energy that is split off from the total energy field, your total energy field, and has temporarily become autonomous through the unnatural process of mind identification. It has turned around on itself and become anti-life, like an animal trying to devour its own tail. See, when you start to disidentify and become the watcher, the pain body will continue to operate for a while and will try to trick you into identifying with it again. And although you no longer are energizing it through identification, it has a certain momentum, just like a spinning wheel running for a while after the propeller is stopped. At this stage, it may also create physical aches and pains and different parts of the body, but they won't last. Stay present, stay conscious. Be the ever alert guardian of your inner space. You need to be present enough to be able to watch the pain body directly and feel its energy. It then cannot control your thinking. The moment your thinking is aligned with the energy field of the pain body, you are identified with it and again feeding it with your thoughts. For example, if anger is the predominant energy vibration of the pain body and you think angry thoughts, dwelling on what someone did to you or what you're going to do to him or her, then you have become unconscious. And the pain body has become you. Where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. Or when a dark mood comes up upon you and you start getting into the negative mind pattern and thinking how dreadful your life is, your thinking has become aligned with the pain body. And you've become unconscious and vulnerable to the pain body's attack. Unconscious, in inverted commas, the way that I use the word here, this is Eckhart, means to be identified with some mental or emotional pattern. It implies a complete absence of the watcher. Sustained conscious attention severs the link between the pain body and your thought processes and brings about the process of transmutation. It is as if the pain becomes fuel for the flame of your consciousness, which then burns more brightly as a result. This is the esoteric teaching of the ancient art of alchemy, the transmutation of base metal into gold, of suffering into consciousness. The split within is healed and you become whole again. Your responsibility then is not to create more pain. You know, I've spent the last couple of years with one person who has taught me so much about suffering and the identification of the pain body or the pain in the body, of the mind, of the emotion, staying in that negative mindset, which is impossible to get out of unless you decide to, unless you become the watcher, the observer. Because when you start to do it, even if though it's a second, there's a change in consciousness. And you do it for another second, and then another. I mean, that builds momentum. And what I've learned over my life is the more you commit to this process, you don't need to be that good at it, but if you commit to the process of becoming conscious and aware, you will transmute your current situation. It cannot not change. It's impossible not to change it. And the key is not to become identified with the progress. Oh, well, I'm only like 1% better. No. Forget that. That's just an analytical, mental thing. No. Stick to coming back to the moment. And the last paragraph to summarize this says, let's summarize the process. Focus attention on the feeling inside of you. Know that it is the pain body and accept that it's there. Don't think about it. And don't let the feeling turn into thinking either. And don't judge and don't analyze. Don't make an identity of yourself without it. Stay present and continue to be the observer of what is happening inside of you. Become aware not only of the emotional pain, but also of the one who observes, the silent watcher. This is the power of now. The power of your own conscious presence. And see what happens. It's been great to share tonight from one of the greatest spiritual leaders we have on this planet. So thank you, Eckhart. And let's incorporate this into our daily life with pain and transmute it like the alchemist from suffering into consciousness.